Welcome to a very interesting chat with three of very dynamic women that we have here today in the studio with us. Let's welcome to start with Siola. Siola Vaz, she is a firebrand advocate from Margao. I just came to know that she's a criminal lawyer. How good to have her with us. Then we have Nadia. Nadia, who's actually studied to be a HR people's person. Instead, she is practicing architecture now. And we have Rashida with us. Rashida, who has been very quietly but very effectively working within the Muslim community to sort out domestic disputes and violence. And I must say, very few people have heard about her, but the amount of cases that she has sorted by way of mere reconciliation is staggering and amazing. Welcome. So, Siola, why is it that you chose to do your law, that too criminal? I mean, why? Isn't it a very male-dominated thing, or?
I thought it was male-dominated before I got in. But now, as I have got in, I find that there are many, umpteen number of women, especially in the appellate side, the criminal appellate side, in the High Court here in the Goa bench, as well as the principal bench Mumbai, where I used to practice earlier. The courts are filled with women. So as opposed to thinking that it is a male-dominated career, quite the opposite. In fact, when I came to Goa, back to Goa, I found that our judiciary is with about 85% women, female judges, as opposed to other states in India. So that means Goa is quite progressive in that sense. We are able to have a lot of female judges, not only in our lower judiciary, but also in our higher judiciary, and also in other authorities, before other authorities, wherever you have installations and all. So there are women everywhere. So it is in fact now no longer male dominated.
It's so heartening to know that in Goa we are doing this right. 85% is a staggering number.
Yeah, it is. And it is more than the other states.
So you had made up your mind even before joining that, when you passed out perhaps your higher secondary, did you know for sure that you want to do law and you would continue working with that?
Yes, indeed. In fact, when I was in 11th and 12th, I had great inclination towards political science. So there are two ways you can go once you like political science. You can go for elections, and then you can go for litigation. So I chose both because I did not want to compromise. And so therefore I pursued law. It was tough on some nights because you had to constantly study. And I used to also intern at the same time that I had exams. So I never took a break for my exams as well.
Okay.
So given that it was always something that I wanted to do, I had to do. And because nobody in my family was a lawyer, so I needed to provide that also, so that the family can be a whole when you have everything in one pot. So that's why also I wanted to be a lawyer, and it was meant to be.
So great that it worked out for you. What you dreamt for, you achieved.
Thank you.
Nadia, if I may ask you the same question, what made you study HR? And after studying HR, your move to what you're doing now? Would you just explain how did the whole thing happen?
Yeah. So actually, I'm a master's in psychology. So so once I did my bachelor's, I did all 6 units in psychology at Xavier's, and then I had 3 ways in front of me. One was clinical, one was counseling, and HR was something that was very different. So me being a very people person back then, now I'm less people person, but I was like, HR is something that's very different, on a psychology, when you take psychology. So that's how I happened to research, and I found my college in Bangalore, and I managed to get in.
Okay.
And yeah, I think after that I think it was just meant to be. But in terms of doing interiors now, interiors is something that I've always liked. Anytime I get an opportunity to do something like anything creative, basically, may it be events or anything, I have that eye and I like something good looking. So I got an opportunity to do it with my friends here and there, and then I was like, after COVID, I lost my job. I was working remotely, and then because of downsizing and stuff, I basically quit. So that's when I had my friend's house. He gave it to me. He said, "Why don't you do it? You like it. I trust you." So, and that's how I got my first project. Then I happened to meet a friend who knows an architect. Luckily for me, he accepted me. For 2 years I was under him. I went around, learned stuff from him, and I'm here now. So
Are you glad doing what you're doing?
I am way happier. I think corporate is something that I'm not very built for. So I really like to be a free person. So this gives me the opportunity basically to do what I like, how I like, and show my vision to people. Because I've realized a lot of people, so when I go explain to them that this is what I want to do, this is how the room will look, it never occurred to me that people cannot see that vision.
Okay.
Like, you know, like a creative person's mind and other people's mind quite different.
Okay.
And I could never understand, like even if I showed my fiance, I'd be like, imagine this here, and he'll be like, I don't think it would look good. But once I do it, he'll be like, you're right. So that also excites me, that, you know, to show people what can be done in a place that there is nothing, you know. So yeah, I think I enjoy myself right now.
Thank you. Moving on to Rashida, ma'am. You are working in a community that really doesn't speak openly about abuse, that does not speak openly about women being marginalized. So how is it that this thought came to you to start this? What made you start what you started?
Madam, I'm from middle class family, and we had some neighbors also, Muslim neighbors also, and I used to see the problem in their house, means beating wife and all that sort of things. And in those days, women never used to complain about the husband. They used to be quiet. So I used to see this, and then I used to come home and I used to talk with my mother especially. And I was brought up like not like a female, but the way the
Equal member of the family.
Yes.
Yes.
So I was brought up like that.
Yeah.
Being a middle class, I was brought up like that. So I used to talk with my mother. See the harassment the husband is giving, and still she is quiet. So the mother used to tell me, we have to be like that and all. So it was in my mind that I should do something. So for me, in my house, I was not having any problem. So they allowed me to do whatever good. So I was then I started taking from school life. I was a social worker.
Okay.
And helping him to poor and all. So people's neighbors and all, they started coming to me and for help and all, and I started helping them. Like that I grew up. Then we started a association, the Muslim Women Association, because we needed something. So we registered it in 24 February 1984.
Okay. That's quite an old association, I must say.
Yes. Then people started knowing that this association is doing something good. So they started coming. And so what the cases, more cases come about the domestic violence.
Okay.
So domestic violence, what we do, domestic violence cases come to us. No, we take the complainant, we call the complainant. We talk to her, then we ask her what is the problem and all. And then we call the husband. And then the third time we call the relatives and the husband wife. We have an office, so we keep separate for husband and wife. Allow them there for about 5-10 minutes. You talk, and what is the problem, you decide, and what you want to do. You want to separate yourself or continue the marriage. So when they talk and all, they and before that we used to counseling we used to do. So the many cases we have solved. Many cases this type of we have solved. So we don't allow them to go to the court, because going in the court, It takes years.
And nothing comes out of it, it's just in quotes.
It's just in code. So before that we give them counseling, whatever we can do, we do. This is how we raise.
What a beautiful world it would be if we could all sit across the table, talk to each other and sort out our problems.
Yes.
So, Siola, okay, so you took a decision that you want to be a lawyer, you went ahead, you studied and you did all of that. Could you share with us a moment where you really did something or met somebody or achieved something and then you said, oh my God, I did something kick-ass? Anything that reaffirmed your faith that, this decision was right, good, I am a lawyer, and
yes,
something you could share with us.
Sometimes we have friends who may not always decide properly for themselves in a given moment. I had always wanted to be available for my family and for my friends if ever they were in trouble. And there was one such incident where a friend was in trouble, and fortunately I was on speed dial, as you might imagine. And then I was able to be present for them. It was a group. Be present for them at the police station during the wee hours of the night, where they could have things could have gone very wrong for them because there could have been wrongful allegations against them. So because I stepped in, all that was prevented, all the negatives were prevented, and though it was not a legal battle or a legal win, but morally they were supported, and the situation did not go out of hand, which means they did not have to sleep in the police station for that night. And the thing is, they did not have a lot going in their favor, but they were completely innocent persons. They were overwhelmed by the other side. So then, because of my white shirt, it made a difference. Just my presence over there, some words which were words out of the textbook, and this was when I was quite junior. I'm still junior, but this was when I was quite junior. So then the day was saved. The day was saved for 3 people, and their parents were grateful, and that reaffirmed my faith. So it's a small thing. It's not a big thing. I have done some similar, little bigger things also. Yes, I have gone against the police also. We have filed cases against police. We have got bail for somebody who was first assaulted by the police, but then the police had blamed him. So we have done those kind of better matters. This was not a matter, but this was where my sheer presence made a difference in somebody's life. So that I thought was it's a little nice to know.
I would be so grateful to have such friends.
Yes, thank you. I will be a friend.
Nadia, any point in time or anything that you would like to share with us where you felt that when you moved to interior designing, that you felt, yes, this is what I want to do always?
Yeah, literally. So we went tile choosing, and I think when it's just the fact that when people listen to you, take your if I would say this would look good, and they would say okay, and then I would explain to them, that would baffle my mind that how do I know this? I was very impressed with myself, and I was very happy that maybe this is something that comes very naturally to me. So yes, I think from the time I got into this, I am happy, I can say.
Nadia, this is nice to know that you know what looks good. With this, we take a short break. Stay tuned. And welcome back. So Nadia, I'm glad you have a keen eye and you know instinctively what looks good. Coming back to Rashida ma'am, I have a question for you. There may be cases that you won, there may be cases that you lost, there may be certain things you felt that you could have done better, or such a lovely couple, why are they separating? Would you share with us one incident where you were really happy that I'm so glad this worked out? Any particular incident that was going totally out of hand and then your intervention put it together and it gave you a lot of happiness?
Is in one family, husband-wife problem was there, and the wife approached us and we discussed with her. And the husband was, you can say, the ruling the house. He's
Okay.
that sort of person, ruling the house. He wanted. He used to say, even when we had gone to his place, he used to say, "This is my house. Whatever I can, I will do it." She is like my. They should say no. She is this say
पैर की
something.
जूती.
पैर की जूती है.
Okay.
इनमें हमारे पैर की जूती है. You be in my legs. That sort of person. He had that sort of mind. So it was terrific to see the person like that. And in front of us, he was saying, "ये मेरा घर है." Again and again, he was repeating it, "मेरा घर है, मेरा घर है." And the children also used to listen to the father because he was the whole and soul. Because he was earning bread.
Earning member
bread.
of this.
Yeah. So the problem is more is because you have the woman has to be educated first, and she should stand on her legs. You can say she should have something, so that if the woman is powerful, no one will make her.
Ever.
Yeah. So always women has something or the other. She should have a power, and in this house, lady was not having any power. She was always beaten up and said what bad about her, and in front of others also used to just say, "ये मेरा घर है." Every now and then she used to call, "ये मेरा घर है, ये मेरा घर है." Whatever I have to do, I will do it.
I would like to interrupt you
Yes.
here, and this question goes out to both the young ladies here.
Yes.
Aren't we ourselves responsible for this, in the sense how we bring our sons up, how we guide our brothers, or how we tell things to our husbands? Isn't that because see, there are only two sexes, male and female, so aren't we also equally 50% responsible for this? What would you say, Nadia?
I think we are, because I think at least until my parents' generation, I think in our generation is changing a lot, but until our parents' generation, they are told that this is the way of life. Divorce is not an option. You get married, whatever your husband is, deal with it. And I think that is where the major problem, because there are many cases where I've heard of, like I have a friend, she is very, in my eyes, she's one of the strongest people I know. She's living with her mother-in-law, the husband's not here. And she has to deal with a lot. And it really, like, I don't understand how we are told that, you know, this is...
Deal with it.
Yeah,
This
deal
is
with
what
it, which is so wrong. Like, we need to say, no, this is not, we are not what we are supposed
Exactly.
to be
So can we put our foot down and say, I'm done dealing with this?
Of course.
But as ma'am said, we can only do this when we are educated and we are financially independent.
Yes.
Siola,
Yes.
what
Given
would you share with us some women who have inspired you? Women maybe in your life, maybe somebody you have watched on TV, movies, books, whatever.
Yes, you know.
And why are they such a big influence on your life?
Yeah. When we speak of inspiration, in fact, it is not that one moment of inspiration only that you just see it and you know it is inspiration. Inspiration sometimes is right in front of you, but only when you sleep at night, it works in your brain. Now I'm amidst you all. This is also an inspiring moment for me. And I may not even feel it maybe at present. I think I'm only rationally aware of it. But the feeling will dawn on me as I go about life. So inspiration operates every day, every moment. And therefore what we do in our first part of life, age 6, age 7, age 8, that is where inspiration comes from, I think, mostly. And that's where it gets set in nicely. I came from a family where my mother was a working mother, and which has its own struggles, but I was not aware of the struggles. So that is what we see. Now I may not think it too inspirational, at least at that time it seemed like something most ordinary. But only now, because I have hindsight and I have the blessing of seeing contrasts in life, that I have come to know that that was in fact inspiring. So now seeing her, having worked all her life, I know that working is normal, and that's a very good thing. Otherwise, maybe some other households would think working for a woman is something new and different and path breaking, but for us it is not path breaking.
So basically the children learn from what they see their
It's
mother
their
doing.
environment. It's their environment. And as you said,
Domestic
madam,
violence come through the family.
They see it happening, they
Yes,
continue it.
they continue
So
it.
it's in our own hands, we as women, where we can put a stop to it and decide this is what it is and not more than that. Rashida, your work is very, for a better choice of word, very sad at times.
Yes.
What keeps you motivated? How do you motivate yourself? Because I don't think I can take that kind of heartbreak case after case.
Yeah,
What
but
is it that keeps you going and motivating?
because we have solved many cases. We have solved and many problem has been solved. So whenever we go, they know we are doing good. So and everybody appreciates us. That is the big thing for us. Whichever house you go to Muslim, just tell them that I'm president of the Muslim Women Association. They appreciate welcoming us. So that was giving us courage.
Even the men.
Yeah. So many like this type of cases came to us, and we have solved many cases. So it gives us courage. This sort.
Nadia, if I may ask you, do you see you being a woman? Are there any gaps in your career, in the sense the kind of work that you do? Because you are a woman, certain things that you cannot do, or is there a gap, or something you don't understand or not able to achieve because you are a woman? Is there anything in your field of work?
There was one incident which I remember very clearly. Was so we had to go to we take measurements, right? So I was sent by my boss to a place to take measurements, and when I went there, within 15 minutes I called him saying that I cannot do this, and he was like, why? So the why was that this place was it's a guest house which we are renovating. Now the type of people that were staying there were laborers and stuff, and even though I had entered in, I could see people coming out of the bathroom in towels. Everyone's like, looking at you.
So it was more of a gender bias thing that you felt.
It was very uncomfortable.
Thank you so much, Nadia, for sharing this with us. Thank you all.